Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller. My guest today is John Walters from Trenchless Sewer Line Repairs. John, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, lots of times, the only time we're concerning our sewage pipes and our toilets is when they're not working correctly. And then all of a sudden it becomes an emergency.
I don't get invited to many parties, so.
So, you've been helping people out.
Yes.
And businesses for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start about why you got into the business. How did that happen?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We bought a brand new house in Pinecrest. We were so happy. We got a deal on the house, and we were so excited about being in the house. And what had happened? Our plumbing blew up. We're 3 months into the house, and then after we had done everything, we had to cut all the floors and replace.
Oh my goodness!
And replace all the PVC to PVC pipes. And we were living in the hotel for like 6 months. I have 6 kids, so imagine that. And I said, there's got to be another way. So I did research, and that's how I got into this.
And so tell people what you do so we don't have to cut up the floors.
What we do is we come in on the old plumbing, and we come in and we sand it, we grind it, we clean it.
From the inside?
From the inside. We remove the toilets, so we go through the toilets, we remove the clean out in the front of the house, and if it doesn't have one, we create one. And then we go through the stacks so we can reach the laundry room, the kitchen. So we line all the pipes. So everything gets cleaned and lined, and it lasts for 50 years.
So the product that you use, explain that product and how it actually gets into the pipe and covers the inside of that existing pipe.
What we have to do is like, picture you have a gun and you have to bore out the barrel because it's rusted on the inside. We come in and we bore it out. We clean it, we sand it, we grind it, we open it up, and we make it semi-smooth again, okay? And we do it like it's like orthoscopic surgery, but through your sewer lines, like a colonoscopy. So,
well, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. So we deal with the same crap.
So you put in there a sander that sands it out.
Yes.
And typically, how long is that from the toilet to where the end might be?
Well, we go from the toilet to the clean out, and we take off all the toilets, so we get all the bathrooms. So we go take every toilet off, and we remove the old toilet. We remove the old wax ring. We get all the grime. It's like I said, we don't get invited to parties because it's not a clean job. But it's hard work, but the person is usually resolved within less than a week.
So you go in and you put this,
it's an epoxy resin.
It's a resin. And how do you, it goes from the container into inside these pipes?
Well, there's different methods. I'll explain the different methods. You have the one where you come in and you say, after you clean everything and you prepare the pipe, there's one method where you apply it with a brush. So you come in and you brush it on the pipe, and it gets every single inch of the pipe covered.
With a brush?
With a brush.
And you are inside the pipe with a scope and a doohickey at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's one method. Another method is the balloon method. That's where we come in like a sleeve. It's like a balloon filled with epoxy. And then we have another balloon inside of it holding it in place. So if it's a 3-inch pipe, we use a 3-inch balloon. If it's a 4-inch pipe, we use a 4-inch balloon. We actually did Mercy Hospital, and they had a 12-inch pipe.
So how thick is that epoxy that is attached to the?
It's about 1/8 of an inch thick.
1/8 inch, and it's strong.
Yes,
very strong. Do you have some of these pictures on your website?
Yes, we do.
So why don't we go to his website right now, Alex? Okay, let's see if we can get some pictures there. So right up here, it says that is...
that's a before and after.
So the one on the left?
In the middle. The one in the middle is a before and after.
So you go and you clean out and you put a whole new surface on the inside.
Yes.
So nothing, it doesn't get clogged up in there.
No.
So if there are some broken pipes, and they're not like terribly broken, but cracked.
Yes.
Does this work?
Yes, it does.
Because it covers that.
The only time that we can't use this method is if the top of the pipe is collapsed, because it keeps caving in. So there's no way to be able to line that. So in that case, you wouldn't have to cut up all your floors. You'd have to cut up in that one spot where it's caving in on the top.
So can we scroll a little bit more, see if we can find some more interesting pictures that are here?
If you go into the gallery section of the website. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on because...
There we go. Okay.
See that the machine on the left is a hot water machine. That's where we dry the line in about an hour and a half.
You dry the line that's inside.
Yeah, the calibration and the epoxy, it makes it hard and faster. So we use hot water. And the middle tool is what we use to clean the line. That's called the miller. And that's what we use. It's like a metal cable that's flexible, that's encased in rubber, and we put chains on it to knock off all the debris and clean the pipe.
And what's over to our far right?
That is a hole that we had to dig where it was like 6 foot down, and we had to get into a hole and go in and replace a pipe. Sometimes, in different areas, like over on the beach, it's very, very deep, and we have to go in there, and sometimes it's a party.
And so, John, how long has this technology been around?
It's been around for like 50 years.
50. So they were a lot of people haven't learned yet that there are options other than ripping up the floor, like you had to do back.
Yeah, it's a very expensive business to get into. It's not cheap, so not everybody could do it. But once you're in it, it works.
This right here is a brochure. It shows
Yes.
You're right, a pipe here.
Yes.
And then this is the new inside.
Yes, that's the insert.
And that's amazing. And this is a continuous insert.
Yes.
From where you started to, the clean out. So let's say for instance, a commercial building might go to at least the outside county or city pipe.
City connection, yes.
To the city connection.
I mean, cities are using this. Miami-Dade County uses it to repair the road. So instead of tearing up all your roads for weeks and having everything blocked off, they come in and boom, they can do 300 foot from manhole to manhole and minimal problems.
It's an amazing process. And so you have the type of clients that you have. Tell us about those, the type of businesses or the homes.
I tell people I do from a crack house all the way to a place on Star Island. I've worked.
And again, the way you typically gain access to the toilets, you start there, you clean it out. Are some of those pipes, is it 30 feet, 40 feet to the cleaner?
Usually on average, the average house is about 80 to 100 feet. So the average price for a homeowner is going to be somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000.
And is that one pipe or is that multiple?
You have multiple pipes.
Multiple pipes.
Okay, sometimes you have 2 bathrooms and the bathrooms are back and back, so they do like a U. Sometimes they're on different sections of the house.
Historically, though, those wind up having with one exit pipe.
Yes.
From inside, they all feed in this one place, and then it goes from there.
You have one connection to the city or one connection to your septic tank.
And so we know the county's trying to eliminate septic tanks. I know there are 100,000 plus septic tanks here in Miami-Dade County, and it's going to be a long time until it's done. But what effect is it for you, whether it's on a septic tank or whether it goes to the city sewer?
For us, it doesn't make a difference. For the consumer, it costs them less because on average, it's about 30 feet from the house to the street, sometimes more. So you save that money because you only have to do to the septic tank, which is 6 foot normally to the house.
Right. And let's talk about septic tanks. And some people don't understand how it's actually what it is. So why don't you explain? We got a pipe that's coming out underneath the house, and it's from all the water. And you got this pipe right there, and it goes into what?
Well, you have like a holding tank. The holding tank takes all your number 1 and number 2 and holds it in there, right? And then what it does is the water drains from the number 1 and the number 2 into the yard and makes like fertilizer. That's why by your septic tank, you always have the greenest grass and the sweetest fruit.
So this is you have input into the septic tank, typically concrete.
Yes.
And then there's an exit pipe, which is another hole. So when it gets to this level, that it drains out. So the septic tank is always full.
It's always going to have water.
Yes. And it's by gravity. The hole is there, and it just drains out.
It just drains out.
Explain to people.
It's like downhill. See, you comes in. Let's say it comes in at 4 foot, and then this will be down 6 foot deep, so the water will drain.
So coming right out of the hole, the exit, there's a pipe. Tell us what happens after that pipe. What does that look like?
After it comes into the septic tank, it's usually like 1,000-gallon holding tank, like 960. Gallon holding tank, and there that where it holds everything, and then water drains from there.
And
then from the tank, it branches out into the drain field. The drain field usually has 3 or 4 chambers that drain the water, and it's like PVC pipe that has holes in it, and it drains, and the water goes into the dirt.
And typically, how far underneath the ground are septic tanks and drain field? Typically,
well, the average tank is about 3 or 4 foot high and about 5 or 6 foot wide. So,
and the drain field is a big for, let's say, for a 3-bedroom house. Let's take this table. How much bigger than this table?
Well, normally a drain field for, let's say, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house is going to be between 300 and 500 square feet.
And drain fields, there's a lifespan.
Yes.
On those for a variety of reasons.
Well, if you have to maintain everything,
yes.
Like you have a brand new car, and if you don't change the oil, it breaks down.
Yeah.
Your septic system, if you don't come in and you don't empty it every 3 years, what happens is it gets solid, and then the waste starts going into the drain field and clogging up the pipes, and it stops draining.
And so when people get this crazy idea, let's put some rags down in the toilet. Oh. You know that's going to be a problem with
it's a recipe for disaster,
right? Mm-hmm. Exactly, and because that can clog up, if it does, maybe the exit. Mm-hmm. And then a whole bunch of problems.
You know, what I see a lot is people with newborn children and wipes, and people with elderly, they use wipes and they flush them down the toilet. That's a quick way to give yourself a new drain field because it's going to clog it. When they say it's biodegradable, they lie. You know?
So on drain fields, what would be a sign that you have a problem?
You start hearing gurgling, like bubbles, like you flush your toilet and it bubbles.
And sometimes people refer to a drain field and septic tank as one entity, but a septic tank, it's hard to go bad because it's a box, right?
If they don't install it right, because of the weight, it cracks. So they have to install it properly. So like imagine you like a swimming pool. Have you ever seen a swimming pool crack?
Yes.
Swimming pools crack. So do septic tanks. And then what happens is the crack gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you end up replacing it.
So typically, on a drain field, if you maintain your septic tank and put some product we should put in, typically what's its purpose?
The drain field is just to drain out the water. That's it. It's just for the excess water to drain out into the system. And
typically where drain fields are for people that are trying to do it on the side, all right, you should be driving over that thing.
No, you shouldn't drive it over because it's about, let's say, 3 foot deep, and it's plastic. It's very thin. Sometimes it's the corrugated plastic, and if you run over it, it's done. And the septic tanks are the ones that people notoriously, because sometimes they have a fiberglass lid. So if you're going to drive over your septic tank, what you need to do is get a traffic lid, and it's a thicker lid with concrete and metal.
And so it could still be the fiberglass, but it's stronger top.
No, if you're going to drive over, it's never fiberglass. Okay. Never, ever.
Right. So I know that we mark where ours is now.
Yeah.
So we don't have to keep punting for it.
Yeah, but that mistake is $1,000 for a new cover usually, because you got to dig it up. Right? Yeah. So it's $1,000 mistake.
So tell us about your family and what kind of field they're on.
I have 6 kids. I have an attorney as a daughter. I have a daughter who's a teacher. I have a daughter who's an engineer. I have my son is a Marine and he works with me. My daughter works with me, and I have another daughter who's a teacher.
Full house.
Yeah, they keep me honest.
And I understand that. Tell us about some of the things that your daughter and your son do in your business. Well, in the business.
My daughter is the back office person, and she deals with the everyday today problem. Like if we need this material or we got this job, and she does logistics. She does everything. It sucks working for your family.
So certainly recently we've seen more women be in the construction arena, and we've interviewed quite a few women that are there. Some were in the field, but a lot were in supplies and running these companies. So how long has your daughter been involved in the business?
My daughter's been working with me since she's 15 years old, and she's 30 now.
That's wonderful.
So nobody tells her what to do. She's more stubborn than I am.
So and if people call you up, she says, okay, we'll send somebody out.
Yes.
Right. I got to tell you, the times that we've had you come out to our house and in business, very, very responsive. I want you to know how much I appreciate that. And just to make it clear, that sometimes I call you at 7 in the morning, by 9 somebody's here. Really tremendous. It says about you taking care of your customers.
I've been called on Christmas. I've gone on Easter Sunday. I went to somebody that they called me on Easter Sunday. We had just lined their pipes, and they lived in Pinecrest. And the person called me and said, I paid you all this money for these pipes, and, you know, it's backed up. So I go to the house myself, because who else is going to go on a Sunday? But I went myself, and I run the snake down the line. And what do I pull out? A pamper. It's like, you can't flush Pampers down the line.
And so is that when we all go, oh, my grandson was here?
I don't know how that got there. Must have been the housekeeper.
Or you last night. Yeah. So people can go to your website. Can we go to run their address across the bottom? They can go to the website, find out more about you.
Okay.
So you can line the inside of your pipes with this product, so you don't have to dig a hole.
No.
Dig up the carpet, dig up the tile, which we know is impossible to match.
What's good about this is, let's say you have a problem and you say, hey, John, I got a problem. In my business, usually on businesses, I work after hours or on weekends, so I don't affect their business, okay? And a homeowner, I come in, I'll be at their house at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're out of their hair. Yeah. And so their life goes back to normal. They don't have to move out. They don't have to do special accommodations.
So what is our new products that are being used in new homes? Is it still PVC, or is there some other products for these?
Oh, they're using PVC now. But on commercial buildings, I see places downtown, they still use cast iron pipes. And the reason that they use cast iron pipes is if the building were to burn, the pipes wouldn't melt.
Versus PVC at some point.
They would melt, so then they would have to redo the whole line. I saw a garage in Hollywood that the garage burned and all their pipes melted. That's why they still use cast iron on buildings.
So if somebody has a challenge with their gurgling, that's the first sign that there's a problem, right? They can call you. Now, what should people do in their kitchen sinks, where inevitably we put all sorts of junk down in their food products? What should we do?
Well, once a month, get a bottle of degreaser. You pour degreaser down your sink, and then let it sit for like 15 minutes. Get a big pot of boiling water, pour it down your drain, and it'll clear itself.
And so once a month with that?
Yes.
When we bought our house many years ago, the plumber who we still use, he said in Spanish, Michael, these pipes are filled with grease. Remember, they were blah, blah, blah. So you need to make sure you clean them out. And we paid the price for a long time. And eventually I'm not quite sure what we did, but be able to clean them. Sometimes people ask, well, why do you go up on the roof to those pipes? What do you call those? The pipes?
The ventilation stack.
And why is that important?
Because that's the ventilation. So if you don't have, like, the waste goes down the line, and gravity and air goes up. It's like a gun. If you shoot a gun, you know how the bullet goes forward and the blast comes back.
Right.
So the ventilation is for the blast that's coming back. And if you block that, then you'll have gurgling too. That's why when you call a plumber, they go up on the roof and they run a snake down the line. And they clear that up.
And so, just for clarity, you have a camera that's at the end of this cable. And is that also, do you have the claws on that one, or is it just a camera?
I have a camera that has claws on it, but you don't use your camera as a snake, because you got an $8,000 camera you're sticking down a line, when you could put a cable down the line that if you lose it, it's $100. Yeah. So you're not going to ruin your camera to clear a clog. You run it for diagnostic purposes, but not for clearing it.
So you could go with the camera and say, this is out 50 feet. Yeah. Okay, let's take that other device and put it down there. And
another thing we could do is, like, depends on what tool you're using, is it like orthoscopic surgery. You put the hook or the claws up front, and you put the camera behind so you can see.
Yeah.
But,
That's wonderful. And again, my many thanks for coming out to my house, and I forget. I know one was a holiday, one was a Sunday, whatever it was. And so, and thanks for calling me back so early on those days and for taking care of us here.
Like I said, I'm available for parties too.
Okay. John Walters, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, folks, thank you for joining us again. Let's put their website address. If you need any help, here it is right there. It's trenchless-repairs.com. You can find out everything that you're looking for about that or give John a call. Again, folks, thank you very much for your time. And Alex, thank you very much for producing the show. Have a good day, folks. See you.